We are looking at one of the most baffling, unsettling disappearances in recent memory. I mean, we're talking about a timeline, a location, and a digital trail that just completely stopped making sense. Today, we're reconstructing the timeline of Emily Parker, step by step, relying purely on the exact evidence from the investigation. And believe me, the devil is absolutely in the details here.
Seriously, ask yourself, how can a person literally vanish into thin air from their everyday, familiar route? It's a terrifying thought, right? We're not talking about getting lost in some dark, unfamiliar alleyway in a strange city. No, this is about a routine, a daily commute walked hundreds of times. By the end of this explainer, you're going to see exactly how an environment you think you know like the back of your hand can just swallow you whole.
So, let's start with Emily's day, which was agonizingly normal. There was literally nothing out of the ordinary. She finishes up at the office, hops on her usual train, and the clock strikes exactly 8:20 p.m. as she pulls into Platform 4. She steps off the train, bag in hand, earphones in, everything is exactly as it always is. She heads toward this narrow corridor right next to the platform. It's a shortcut she takes every single day. And, well, she walks right in. And boom. This is exactly where the timeline just fractures. She walks into that narrow corridor, and she never comes out. What's super chilling here is the immediate absolute digital silence. At first, nobody at the station noticed anything weird. But as the night goes on, Emily never makes it home. Her phone, completely turned off. Messages from her family are just sitting there undelivered, unseen. Her entire digital footprint goes completely dark in an instant. Naturally, her worried family immediately alerts the police.
All right, so the police step in, and the first thing they do is pull all the station's CCTV footage. I want to walk you through their exact process here, because this step-by-step breakdown is where things get genuinely terrifying. Camera 1, it clearly shows Emily getting off the train. Perfect. Camera 2 picks her up right after, showing her walking straight into that narrow corridor. But then we get to camera 3. This one is positioned right at the exit of that exact same corridor. The police are watching the screen, waiting for her to walk out. But the frame just stays still. Emily never appears.
You can imagine the police are totally baffled. They logically figure, okay, there has to be another exit, right? Maybe some blind spot in the building's architecture. So they launch this massive physical sweep of the area. I mean, they leave no stone unturned. They check the old storage rooms. They clear out closed-off tunnels. They even scour the rail tracks. Every single logical hiding spot or alternate route is checked off the list. But absolutely nothing. It is as if she literally evaporated right into the station's concrete walls. The investigation hits this incredibly suffocating dead end.
For 3 agonizing days, the whole city is just gripped by silence and fear. And then, out of nowhere, a breakthrough. 3 entire days after she vanished off the face of the earth, Emily's mother's phone lights up. A voice message just came through. The signal is incredibly weak, but it's unmistakably there. Just try to imagine sitting in that room and hitting play on that audio file. Through the speaker, you can hear these heavy, metallic, roaring sounds of trains moving around in the background. And cutting right through all that noise is Emily's voice. It's so incredibly faint, but she says, "Mom, I'm still at the station." And right after she gets those words out, the line just drops, completely dead. Obviously, panic sweeps through the department, and the police rush straight back to the station. Only this time, they aren't just looking at security video. They initiate a really rigorous audio analysis of that brief voicemail. Detective Nathan Brooks takes the lead here. He isolates the background noise, listening closely past Emily's voice, and he catches this absolutely crucial detail. Hidden way back in the ambient noise is an automated station announcement. It says, "Train to Chittagong, arriving at Platform 2. Now, Detective Brooks freezes when he hears that. Why? Because here is the terrifying catch. That specific announcement for the Chittagong train arriving at Platform 2, it does not play after 8 p.m. But wait, remember our timeline from earlier? Emily didn't even arrive at the station until 8:20 p.m. So this reveals a deeply, deeply disturbing reality. That voice message, it was embedded with an older, pre-recorded background sound. Someone had literally manipulated the audio to mask the truth. Just like that, the timeline is blown wide open. So let's see how this shapes our understanding of what actually went down. The police pivot. If she didn't just wander off and disappear on her own, somebody took her. They decided to dig into Emily's workplace, just looking for any potential red flags.
And man, they immediately find a massive one. It turns out over the past few months, Emily had been telling her friends she was genuinely afraid. She had explicitly told them, "Someone keeps following me."
This chilling detail leads investigators straight to a coworker named Ryan Foster. Now, to the public, Ryan was universally described as the classic nice guy. You know the type. Quiet, totally unassuming. When the cops question him, he casually shrugs it off, saying, "I just liked her." But when they seize his hard drive, yeah, they didn't find a nice guy at all. They found a predator. The police uncovered these meticulously organized folders, all categorized by date. He had somehow gotten his hands on illegal copies of the station's CCTV footage. He even had custom videos tracking Emily's daily movements. Exactly where she walked, where she paused, every single day. It's truly stomach-churning.
The final piece of the puzzle finally snaps into place when investigators figure out exactly how he bypassed the station's cameras. It turns out Ryan had discovered this old, forgotten service room deep within the station walls. It was a place the general public, and honestly even most of the staff, knew absolutely nothing about. So on that night, at exactly 8:20 p.m., as Emily walked into that quiet corridor, Ryan called out to her. Because she recognized a face from work, even though she was afraid of him, she likely paused for just a second, and he used that tiny window of recognition to lure or force her into that hidden room, locking the heavy door right behind them.
When the police interrogate Ryan, his overall demeanor is just chillingly calm. He absolutely insists he didn't murder her. And his justification? He literally just says, "She stays with me." That was his entire twisted goal. Total ownership. He kept her trapped in that dark, forgotten room for 3 whole days. It was on that third day, in a severely weakened state, that Emily must have briefly managed to turn her phone back on. She sent that one fragmented voice message to her mother before the battery died, or, before Ryan stopped her. It happened before the police could ever get a lock on the location signal. Armed with Ryan's confession about where this room was, the police finally breach the hidden service door. And what they find inside is straight out of a nightmare. Her belongings are just scattered everywhere. Emily's bag is sitting right there, her dead phone is on the floor, and the most horrifying part? They find deep nail scratches gouged right into the walls of the room. It was a clear, desperate testament to a struggle, but the one thing they do not find in that room is Emily. The police practically drag Ryan back into the interrogation room, demanding to know where she is. And Ryan? He just delivers this final, absolutely maddening statement. He looks at them and says, "I left the door open, she walked out, I don't know where she went after that." He actually claims he simply opened the door and let her walk away into the sprawling labyrinth of the train station, which obviously leaves this massive, agonizing gap in the timeline of what actually happened. Desperate for any single thread of truth, the detectives rush back to the station's CCTV. They are fast-forwarding through the hours immediately following the exact time Ryan claims he let her go. They're just staring at the monitors, watching that empty corridor. And then they get this impossible final scare. For exactly 1 second, in the very top corner of the video frame, Emily appears. But she isn't running. She isn't frantically calling for help. She is standing perfectly still, staring directly into the camera lens. And then the frame just cuts to black. Which brings us to the end of our reconstruction today, and leaves us staring right at the most haunting question of this entire case. If she truly walked out of that room, if she actually survived those 3 terrifying days in the dark, where on earth is Emily Parker now? The physical evidence just stops. The cameras go black. Our explainer has to end here, but the mystery of Platform 4, it remains completely, terrifyingly open. I highly encourage you to look closely at the evidence we've laid out today. Ask yourself what the cameras aren't showing us. And whatever you do, keep asking questions.